Onegashimasu.
Yes.
Light work stance. Put your weight in the legs. Let your legs do all the work. And we'll just clasp our hands together. And start kind of small and slow until you feel like you're warming up and you can make the movements bigger. But making a circle, but that's mainly with your legs and hips. Shifting the weight, turning the hips. Gradually bigger. And as you do this, you're hanging out from the string. So the weight's in the legs, not your upper body. You're releasing the abdomen, nice, good abdominal breathing. And then explore a nice big circle. So all the way to the side, all the way to the other side. Bend that knee. And big circles the other way. Releasing those shoulder joints, let them open. Go all the way to the side. Good. Now, vertical. Again, shifting the weight and turning the hips. And the other way. And then alternating with those circles, vertical circles. And then down the middle, it's like you're chopping wood. So nice deep stance. And up over one shoulder, chop down the middle, over the other shoulder. Nice deep stance here, squat. And then come up, the back heel comes off, so get a bigger stretch. Breathe in coming up, breathe out as you chop. Good, then take a step forward, shifting the weight and making circles. And explore the turn all the way to the side. Big weight shift, big hip turns. And other way. And switching stance. And other way. Good. Going back, releasing the hands and just an arm swing, relaxed. And if you're feeling fairly warmed up, and more vibrant, weight shift and hip turn, and just release those arms. Then come up on the ball of the foot so then you can turn and face the side wall. To make sure the knee is bent that you're standing on. It's well bent. You're not really leaning forward, you're sinking into that hip without lurching forward. So you're owning your balance, sinking into that hip. And then if it's comfortable, you have the range of motion, you can turn a little further so that you're looking towards that back wall. Good, heels close, knees bent, hip circles, gradually getting bigger and bigger. And other way. Sliding down to the knees. Circles away from each other and towards. The front corners and back. Good. Push your hips forward to roll the spine up and do that a few times. Hips back, hips forward, rolling through the spine. It's called spinal wave. Hips back, pull the tailbone forward and roll up through the spine, right through the top of the head. Try to articulate the spine one vertebrae at a time. Sitting back, pulling the tailbone forward, have that roll up through the spine, and through the neck. And alternating shoulder rolls. Other way.
I think he's doing spine curls.
Okay. All right. So let's go right into what we're working on in Aladdin's program here. Let's start towards the bottom of the program, the last couple of techniques, combination of strikes and footwork. So we're going to do showman strike with the front hand. So it's going to be the front hand showman as we do Irimi Sugiyashi. So we stay in a forward.
That connection. Good.
Pretty good, yeah. So doing the shomanuchi from the forward side. Remember to keep the other hand active and alive, both sides equal awareness, equal aliveness. Rather than the backhand, the back side stepping forward, it's going to be the front side. And that's going to be from the basic footwork of Irimi Sugiyashi. So weights in the front leg, we stay in the front leg, forward stance the whole time. Okay, so each forward stance still. Knee. On, and we come right over center line. Pushing off the back foot to send you offline is what raises the sword. So when I first come offline, pushing off this back foot raises the sword, and as that foot settles into that back position,
It's like the big.
we go. Okay, so Irimi Sugiyashi, shomanuchi, each, keeping a forward stance. Knee. Up. Keep flowing out. More and more, bigger and bigger shape. Oh. Grow. Okay, let's switch the other side. So Migi Hanmi, forward stance, right side. Each. Each. On. Each. Oh, push off that back leg. Rope. As that back leg slides back, that's the power for the cut. Each. Okay, now shomanuchi again, but now we do Irimi Ayumiyashi. So Irimi Ayumiyashi, again, of course, finished in the front stance. So that is going to be the backhand now. So the back side becomes the front side. So if I do one to demo, Irimi Ayumiyashi, showman. Try to be aware if you're dropping this hand or it's going dead. And again, don't cut down too low, just cutting down basically to shoot on level, just basically solar plexus. So watch that you're not leaning, you're not open, equally alive. So Migi Hanmi, Irimi Ayumiyashi, shomanuchi. Each. Knee. Up. Shi. Whoa. Touch. Okay, so we'll do that on the other side. So Hidari, left side forward. Ayumiyashi. Each. Knee. On. Okay, watch the leaning at all. Stay nice and vertical. Shi. Oh. Rope. Each. Touch. Okay, now we also do this footwork with yokomen strike. Now, just a quick review and reminder for yokomen, we're not really doing the angle of yokomen with the arm, not using the muscles here to make this different angle. It's the different angle of the body. So the only difference between shomen and yokomen, shomen, my foot comes forward and it's straight. So my cut is straight down. For yokomen, I just turn my hip ever so slightly, which means my foot is turned a little bit. I'm going to make it bigger than normal so you can see that my foot is angled to the omote. It's not going to be that much, but just a slight turn of the hip as I step. And that's what makes the angle of yokomen, yokomen. So it's not that I step straight forward and then do the separate angle and action with my arm. I do the same holistic movement. I step in and just turn slightly. I step in and turn center line, turn the hips. So my foot just lands at a slight angle. That's all I need to turn my shomen into a yokomen. Also, again, don't finish too low. Other hand is alive and ready. Okay, so this again is going to be the front hand to start with. Front hand, so I'll definitely have a different feel than what we're used to. And sugiyashi. Front foot off line sugiyashi. So that looks like this. Let me do a couple to the camera. And again, you'll see I'm not really doing a separate action with my arm. Again, pushing off that back leg drives the arm up. The anchoring of that back leg drives the cut. Okay, so hirari, left side, sugiyashi, forward side yokomen. Each. Knee, you're staying in a front stance. On. Knee. Go, check your posture and how you're running the energy at the end. Have you collapsed physically? Have you stopped your flow of energy energetically? Still flowing, like you're still holding a very sharp, long sword out, issuing out through that sword. Hachi. Cool. Do. Okay, let's do the other side. So Migi Hanmi. Forward arm, yokomen. Each. Knee. Up. Shi. Go. Yoke. Each. Touch. Cool. Do. Okay, and then as before, now we'll do irami aimiyachi, yokomen strike. So that will be the backhand, because now we're switching feet. Okay, so that yokomen, the switching of the feet, irami aimiyachi, forward stance, and finishing a forward stance. Each. Knee. Stop. Let the turning of your body, the rotating around your vertical axis, to be the power that drives that yokomen. Go. Rope. Seat. Touch. Cool. Do. Okay, the other side. So hirari, aimiyashi, yokomen, each. Knee. On. Shi. Go. Rope. Sich. Hutch. Ku. Ju. Okay, we'll do some live action stuff here. I'll come towards the camera. And let's go back to the first footwork. Sugiyashi, Shomanuchi. So as I come towards the camera, you want to time it so you don't move too early, so you can't be tracked. And basically want to blend with their attack and weave inside their attack. So as the person comes to where you were, they run right into your shoman. So if the nage was here on this side, as I come for the attack, I should be walking right into that shoman. Okay, in other words, it's not just getting offline and then trying to hit them as they pass by. It's like you're suturing, weaving, blending. So their attack is what strikes them by your shape. Your shape and the timing of your movement, they're struck by that. So it's your timing. So if nage is on this side, they come off, bang. So basically the attacker should come right into that. Okay, so if you set up on this side, I'll do a few attacks coming towards the camera, starting slow. So come a little, I'll change the speed. So you have to adapt with your mind. Okay, now switch to the other stance. Do the same thing, Shomanuchi on the other side. Just switching to the other side. Okay. Okay, now, Ayumiyashi, so you switch feet. Ayumiyashi, so shoman with the back arm. So the timing is slightly different because it's more movement. This is a bit more movement, which means it takes a bit more time. So timing therefore is slightly different. So setting up, it's going to be Ayumiyashi Shomanuchi with that back arm. By the way, later tonight when you're sleeping, when you dream of this action coming towards the camera, which you will, I want you to move correctly and in time. Okay, now setting up on the other side. Ayumiyashi Shomanuchi with the back arm. That's shoman still. Okay, now back to Sugiyashi again. Sugiyashi, yoke him in with the front arm. Yoke him in with the front arm. So that means he may be getting the person more on the side of the head, maybe even towards the back, just because the angle is slightly different. Where showman, it would have been about here because you're off at an angle. So this might be a slightly different contact point. It's yoke him in. We're not making a big divergence in that angle. It's just offline, off just a slight angle because you've turned your hip slightly more. So front foot comes offline, front arm, yoko men. Try to time everything together as one unit. And even the attack, that's what I meant by suturing or weaving. It's like you're not separate. It's like you just join in with that stream. It's like one current or stream of river, and you're just joining streams. So that's that blending action. Okay, let's do that on the other side. So Sugiyashi, Yokamen. Sugiyashi, Yokamen. So let me just talk a little bit about this, mentioning quite a bit about suturing, blending, kind of not waiting for them to go by and then try to chop them. So just to go a little further with this mentally, energetically, once the mind and body gets a sense of the shape and the movement, and you learn to not freak out about a attack or interaction, you learn to stay open. This is part of what we're doing with strikes, whether it's with a weapon or empty-handed, learning to stay open-hearted, open-minded, energetically open. And so when they come in, you want to have a sense that it's not two rocks hitting each other. I'm getting out of the way so I can impinge upon them with my hard, separate body. It's more like two rivers coming together. You just have a very clear, sharp shape, so it's going to have an effect. But more and more as you get used to these movements, have a sense that you're inviting it or you're open to it, you like it. So if I imagine it's coming towards me, my coming offline and raising is like an embrace, actually. It's like an opening, inviting, welcoming feeling and quality. So rather than the shape that's out, stay out, stay out, stay out, bang, 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 stay out. This is where Aikido differs from other martial arts. And the feeling starts to develop where it's like you're billowing everything together. You're just joining with that. You're joining with it and just kind of landing on it or intercepting it. So maybe not today, but maybe you can today or very soon. This quality of I'm not trying to stay out here separate. This is actually a joining, unifying movement and shape. So if you imagine an attacker coming in, this is all part of the attack. Their attack and my movement, it becomes enveloped to become one tango. So if you can make sense out of that, start to open to that, and that starts to become the energetic feeling. As they come in with the so-called attack, my movement isn't this defensive shirking away. It's actually an embracing, including enveloping, and the so-called strike is just a natural continuation of my including. See if you can be open to that as I come towards you. Yeah, so Mike, that's looking very good. That timing and that staying open and soft, that's coming across in your movement. It's very, very different than regular martial arts. Of course, O Sensei was often quoted as saying, you invite the attack for a long time. It didn't make sense to me. And it can seem like such a precarious thing. But of course, when you deny and resist something, it makes you less adaptable and less capable of dealing with the situation. As you stay open and inviting and stay open and generous, you have more of an inclusive influence rather than a destructive or competing influence. Okay, so now Ayumi Ashi, Ayumi Ashi, and doing yokumen with that back arm. With that back arm. So again, maybe after 2 or 3 of these, once you know the movement and the timing, stay open energetically to receive and blend and intercept it because you are inviting it. That's it. Try a few on the other side. So Ayumi Ashi, yokumen, starting with that back arm. Yokumen. Once you get the mechanics down, open up energy, open up the heart, open to receive, and work together. Open to receive and work with what's happening. Okay, now you do any of those. So you can switch whenever you want. You can do forward side showman, backside showman with the switching, forward side yokumen, switching, so backside yokumen. You pick and change them up. I'm gonna come towards you with various so-called attacks, various so-called strikes. So you can pick. So maybe I'm walking by and change my direction towards you. Sneak attack. Okay, so a little wind down, hang out, knees bent, mind and breath, resting deep in the belly. Little minor arm swings, just to kind of release everything. Release those shoulder joints. Let the belly be free to move with your breath. Gradually winding down, breathing in, expanding from your core, from your center. Breathing out, settling back to your core. Breathing in, expanding out. Breathe out, settling back. And a couple really big, scooping up to the sky. Come up on the toes. Breathe out, press down to the earth. Breathe in, fill the lungs and abdomen. Breathe out, empty, press into the earth. And sideways, open up the chest. Breathing in, breathe out, open up the back. Resting in the center.